HV back on the balancing act. I was just looking right before you got on here. We hadn't done one of these since January of 24. So it,
Really?
yeah, it seemed. I was like, nah. It said a year, and I was like, that's probably right. But then I looked at the date, and I was like, oh, it's almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Wow. It's wild that we've been at it all this time and we're still at it. And here we are. A little long, but glad to connect again.
For sure. I just had to check in, see how everything's been going with you. How's the Realize Radio community going, and like what's new in your world? Like what's the HV update? I know you moved. I moved too. That's my update.
That's cool. Okay, we're both in new spots. Yeah, I just moved across town, not a major move, but you know, across the highway, but in a whole new universe it feels. Getting settled in feels great. Realize Radio going very strong. It's my proudest effort. Honestly, it's this little thing, we started in 2021 recording the season one and then we just kept going, and it's just one of those things that you sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, but you just kind of are dutifully, like, your head down, you're just
Following your passion.
just in it. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, whoa, we've got a whole world that has been created. I mean, truly a community. I think of it as like a garden of some sort that I've been very dutifully tending to. The planting of the seeds, the watering of the soil, the maintenance of the space. And
It's a great analogy.
it feels right. This whole effort truly, I think a lot of it has to do with me not having a community, not having anybody to talk to about this type of stuff. And it can be very isolating. It can be very, very, very isolating to be out there with your ideas that are not mainstream by any measurement of what is accepted thought. And I was really, really wanting a community. And I didn't quite realize it, but I guess now it's very clear, but I had to create it. I had to create what I wanted. And it exists now, and it's robust, it's radical, and we're growing by the day. It's a one by one effort, one by one, day by day. We're not a numbers game. This is not a numbers play. We're not by any stretch, we're not the biggest show or, a sizable community, but it's meaningful. It's a committed minority. And I like to, in mathematics, there's actually a concept, it's tipping point, where you
Malcolm Gladwell.
Yep. Yeah. And he's kind of come and ran with this idea, but you do not have to have a majority to change accepted thought, to change status quo. You really just need a committed minority. In mathematics, they say that's around 20%. I'm not even sure if it has to be that high. And we're nowhere near like a 20% of the population with how we think, but people are joining every day. There are people that have been there since day one. The Patreon community, we've got free episodes. If you've never heard of Realize Radio and you're like, what you talking about? We've got free episodes on all major platforms. Just look up Real Eyes Radio, tons of free episodes, and then ongoing recordings, ongoing content creation. We have just tons of stuff within the community, group Zoom calls. We've got a rocking Discord. It's my preferred social media platform. I don't do as much on Twitter. I don't do as much on Instagram because I am pouring constantly my ideas, my just daily thoughts, syncs, explorations, discoveries. I'm pouring that into the Realize Radio Discord. It's become very, very, very valuable to me as a encyclopedia. I mean, I just put in a keyword in the search term, like what has the community said or thought about this term? What topic? keyword. What have we been kicking around?
I've got one for you, but I've got a couple of other
Oh.
things that are more closely related to what you're talking about right now before we get to that. But
With all that said, things are going good. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of Realize Radio. And shout out Rambo, my co-host, my partner in crime with Realize Radio. We're still kicking. Yeah. And, he's across the pond, and we're very different with what we focus on. And we need that. Like I don't need someone who is just doing exactly what I do, because that would get a little, monotonous. He covers a lot of areas of interest that I don't have any. Sports and stuff. I'm kind of like, go Rambo, you tell us what's going on in that world. And, numerology, and there's some things that he finds fascinating to him, and finds a lot of, very valuable insight that I would never even think to look. I would never be focused on. And yeah, it's a great partnership, and I'm very, very happy, very happy and very proud of it. Yeah.
Shout out Rambo. He's a really awesome partner for you. I'm still looking for my Rambo. But y'all work really well together. My other question was, do you follow any, are there any content creators, podcasts, people that you support or would, say you got to check these guys out, or this girl out, or this guy out?
That's a good question. I really don't listen to anything in the conspiracy space. My podcasts that I listen to are I listen to comedians' podcasts. So those are I don't take in anything else in this space. I used to pre 2020. Every conspiracy podcast, that's all I would take in. But it's not super surprising. A lot of my ideas, they run counter to where the conspiracy community is at. I just don't necessarily believe, I don't find value. They don't find value in them. And I know that might sound harsh, but that's the way it is. I'm not saying that's not for it's they have their audiences. I'm just not in it anymore. And again, that's another reason. That's why I created my own little universe, because it didn't exist. What I covered didn't exist. What I find fascinating, nobody else seemed to be looking at it in these ways. And so, yeah. And really, because I do it, I do a lot of recordings, and I do a lot of this stuff. When I listen to podcasts or audiobooks, that's what I'm taking in. I'm taking in stuff that I can let my mind just chill out for, so that's why I listen to comedians, just shoot the shit. And then audiobooks, that's what I take in. I give my mind a little bit of a break. But I used to be so amped on every single conspiracy. I couldn't get enough. But we all go through that. We all go through waves and cycles. And who knows, next year we may talk, and I'll give you a whole slew of content creators in this space that I am now following and now taking in. But I've found that I don't quite resonate with a lot that's out there, and therefore I just don't take it in. And I don't hate listen to anything, Some people put things on just to hate listen. I don't like this creator, but I'm
No, I've never been that way.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't seem to. That doesn't seem to square with me. So yeah, I just put things on that can give my brain a little break, and make me laugh. Laughter is where that best medicine, truly. Humor.
I agree with that. Brandon Thomas, though. You have him as one of your recommended Patreons.
Oh yeah.
Expanding Reality.
Yes. To be completely transparent, I don't listen to his content, but I do respect him as a creator. And he recommended our Patreon, and I recommended his. But I personally don't take it in.
Yeah, no worries. It was just the reason I even bring him up is, I started checking some of his stuff out. One of the episodes that I checked out was this guy named Ryan Sprague. Do you know him?
It doesn't ring a bell. I will also say I'm horrible with names. So it could be someone I'm very familiar with, and I'm like, couldn't tell you.
He's known kind of as like the conscious cannabis guy.
Okay.
He's like a conscious cannabis coach, but he also has like growing classes, and it's all about conscious use and not unconscious use and
Yeah, tell
intentional
me.
use.
Yeah. So like, yeah, not being mindless about taking it in.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
recognizing it as a psychedelic, using it as a psychedelic rather than a crutch, and more of a
Yeah.
ritualistic, ceremonial, like reverence.
I think that's
This
where it's at.
Yeah, this sort of
Yeah.
vibe, right? So
Yeah.
I ended up because of you. So this is like the 6 degrees of separation shit. Because
Okay.
I saw
I like that.
expanding reality as one of your recommendations, I started getting into his content. So I found Ryan Sprague and Brandon Joe Williams, who's like a law researcher, sovereignty kind of guy.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that space. Um, and ended up getting Brandon Joe Williams on my show. So I've been getting into the sovereignty thing. That's been like one of my big two buckets this year. The other
Can
one
you tell me a
was
little bit about that? Can you tell me a little bit about the sovereignty? I know that there's lots of ways to, potentially not even pay taxes or, there's lots of things that you
yes,
can do to
yes,
get out of like your traditional rigmarole. I would love to hear anything that you found.
yes. Episodes 93 and 95 I did were both on that. I
Okay.
really want to do more on
I
that, but
will
that
check that out.
space does have a lot of infighting, I would say, like people disagreeing with how are the best ways to do things.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like take it all in and choose your own adventure sort of thing, and I'm
Yeah.
doing that. But to the other half of what I was going to say is I ended up taking Ryan's conscious cannabis coaching course, and I'm getting certified to become a conscious cannabis coach. But I do think that sovereignty in cannabis, when used intentionally, and I don't want to say properly because that's insinuating that there's a right and wrong way. And I do think, again, when you're talking about going through stages, I've definitely used cannabis unconsciously and as a crutch and as an
Me too.
escape. So
Me too.
I'm not here to like
Lord,
poo-poo
me
that. I
too.
think that's
Yeah.
actually preferable to using pills and hard drugs, like
Oh, yeah.
honestly. So that's still not like terrible,
Yeah.
but there's also a time to step away, like take a tolerance break and
Yeah.
let your body reset and then gain reverence for it again when you do reconnect, and it's more of a healthy relationship and not a codependent relationship. And
Yeah. I've been there.
um
But that was something that part of my move. I didn't want to, I definitely found myself mindlessly abusing marijuana. And
mhm.
it's not even the amount. It's not even the amount. Because if I were to, share how much I was smoking, people would go, that girl, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But for me, it was too much. It was too much. And not at all, it was not at all ceremonial. It was not at all purposeful. It was absolutely just trying to shut off and shut out. And it was a crutch. I was beginning to use it as a crutch. And I would just find myself reaching for it, didn't even necessarily want it, and it was beginning to cloud my life. I did this too with alcohol. I'm very proud to say alcohol is like no longer part of my life. I'm not going to say I don't drink because every once in a while I will have a cocktail, but it ruins me. Like one drink ruins me because I stepped back so far and kind of uncentered it from my life. Because I used to drink quite a bit. And again, it wasn't necessarily the amount, but it was for me. Because if someone else, quite a bit for me was like a couple drinks. So someone else is like, girl, you're good. But for me, in my relationship, I began to notice it was becoming something that it was taking away. It was killing my spark. It was killing my spark, dulling me, checking me out. And I'm an online person. Like I've got a bright light, and it doesn't need to be dimmed. It certainly doesn't need to be dimmed willy-nilly, And now whenever I do have, spark up, have some of that wacky tobacco, I mean like one puff and I'm on the moon. I'm on the moon. And that's what I like that. That is my preferred relationship with it, where it is potent and you don't need much, and you get way more out of it when you take a big step back. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of growing your own. Like the relationship
Oh, do
with it
you?
is
Do you
just
grow?
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I grew outdoor this past year. Well, I've always grown outdoor. But I mean, there's episodes you could go on YouTube and just like research sun-grown cannabis, and there's like I think there's an episode called like Weed Witches discussing sun-grown cannabis. It's four ladies, and they're all like scientific, like they know what the hell they're talking about type shit. And
Yeah.
there's
This
just
lab grown
something.
stuff is not good. It's
Yeah, I
I think there's
mean,
something
it's
up
just
with
it's a
it.
plant. At the end of the
Mm,
day, I don't care how high tech the lights are.
mm-mm.
Like it's not the sunshine. The
Yeah.
sunshine is magical, you know,
Yeah.
and it's a magical plant. It needs the magic. Like it needs that stuff beyond our
Yeah.
capability to even articulate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a different element. It's not as strong in the terms of like THC percentage, but it's also like not foggy. It's very
Yeah.
clear-headed and it makes my whole body feel good, not just like smacking me in the face sort of thing, you
Right.
know?
It's like you don't need 30+% THC. Like what?
Yeah.
What? You don't need that.
Yeah.
Like all the, you go into, I was in New York last year and they had just kind of legalized recreational, and they had like licensed shops and then off licensed shops, and like the licensed shops, they supposedly sold the good stuff and the off license sold like the bad, more lab grown stuff. But I, all of it felt manufactured in a way that was, something was lost.
It's
Something was
it's
lost.
an energetic being, you know, when it's grown in
Yeah.
a warehouse under like floor, like lights, even though how no matter how high tech the lights are, and like even if it's soil bricks, it's not living soil. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
No, totally.
most of the dispensaries don't even use the soil bricks. They're using like nutrient salts hydroponically, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're paying people minimum wage to grow it. They're not loving that shit. It's not their plant. They don't have any sort of relationship with it. If anything, they're walking around there like, fuck this shit, you know, and
Yeah.
then the
Like
plants are picking
pissing on
up that
the plants,
energy. You
like
know what I
peeing
mean?
everywhere.
Yeah. So there's the spirit, it's not even that there is a spiritual element to it. It's the spiritual element to cannabis is what it's about. Like we can't take that out of it.
Yeah.
That's its whole thing.
And do
You
you
know?
think our societal, I think that I really came to this understanding with alcohol, because I do think, and I don't want to poo-poo any substance, but I do think that the way that society is with alcohol and now with marijuana, it's pushed so much and the consumption is so high that you go flying past that ritualistic benefit. That I think that there is some sort of magic. You said, some sort of magical element of these things. And I think that there's a reason that wine and certain liqueurs and alcohols have been used in religious practices, but the amount is so small that is purposeful for these ritual. And I think that
Intentional is really the key
intention,
aspect of the rituals, right? In the
yeah. And we are
ceremonies.
just so, again, mindless. Like people are just out there taking shots and, just sparking up all day from the moment, you get up till the moment you go to bed. There might have been a day in my life that I
Oh, I've done it.
had a
I've done it for
significant
years.
amount. There might have been a day that I did that, but
Yeah.
it wasn't my best day. And I don't look back fondly on that time and go, I need to get back to that. But I do think that if you can, and I'm really trying to figure this out individually, what is that limit? What is that threshold? What is that mindful
The
approach?
balance point.
The balancing act. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an experiment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I even with alcohol, I think that like I made my own gallon of mead, like
Oh, wow.
honey wine, and
Yeah. Is it
it's
good?
different when you make it. You have a personal relationship with
Sure.
this spirit or
Yes. They're
living
called
being,
spirits for a reason. Yeah.
right? And it's just different. I don't know how to like if I was to put it into words, it's gonna sound woo-woo because that's just what it's truly like a magical aspect or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call that, right?
Do you make it in your bathtub, or how do you make it? Like, how do you?
No. Yeah, there's like mead making kits.
Yeah.
I think Craft a Brew is the website I got it from. And it's just like a yeast packet, and then you buy your own honey. I got my honey from like the local meadery because he's like all hippie, and it's like, wildflower, like, the bees are taken care of like they're people type shit.
You know what's interesting about bees? I just watched the movie Begonia, and I was reminded, great film actually. I watched it twice because I'm going to do a recording for Realize Radio. But I made a connection. The area that bees are maintained when you have a beekeeping operation is called an apiary. And there's so many correlations between bee colonies and humanity. And the word ape of apiary really made me go, when they tell us we come from apes, are they just saying we're in an apiary? Some sort of maintained colony system? You know, like there was just something, this light bulb
Or they're trying to like put like manifest that through like power of suggestion type shit.
Could be, yeah. But the coming from apes, the evolution story never really made sense.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't make any sense.
But I was like, maybe they're telling us something very plainly, and we're just interpreting it as apes, monkeys. But it's more of like ape is actually there. It's like shorthand for our apiary that we live in, Earth as some sort of like bee colony where we're the worker bee, you know. I don't know, something to it. But
since you're getting in your etymology bag, here's the word. Here's the word I wanted you to dissect is actually sovereignty.
Well, you know, I'm not making any connections immediately. I would have to consult my etymology. Let's see. Let's actually look at the etymology of sovereignty. Sovereignty. Etymology.
Sovereignty, yeah.
Of sovereignty. Sovereignty. It's not an easy. How do you say sovereign? Oh, well, this is funny. It comes from the Latin word super anus, meaning above. But people on Realize Radio will laugh because I'm actually obsessed with buttholes.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, I've heard you talk about, we start as a butthole.
We start as buttholes.
It's like a portal.
It is. It absolutely is a portal. It's a black hole portal. Yeah. And I've actually talked about this on the show, TMI, but who cares? There was a big stretch of my kind of like adolescent teen where I was kind of a sad teenager, angsty. I was on some antidepressant medications, going to therapy and stuff. But
emo HV,
very emo, very very sad sack.
My Chemical Romance and Simple Plan.
Yeah, I've been a weirdo for my whole life. Didn't quite have a crew. But during this time, I remember so vividly there was a feeling, a physical feeling, of energy leaving my body through my butthole. Like I could literally the feeling was concentrated in my like lower abdomen.
It wasn't farts?
No, it was like I was being pulled to the ground. I used to be in class and fantasizing about crawling to my next class because I had no energy to even the idea of even standing up to walk to the next class.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard of Kundalini, right?
Like yoga?
Well, just Kundalini energy. It's like the energy that wraps around your spine. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the entrance and exit point. Yeah,
and there've been studies now that we do lose energy through our anus. Like so this feeling that I had very acutely as a teen. It's actually there's some science behind it, but yeah, it was like a real affliction for a couple of years. I felt. I had absolutely zero energy, and I could literally feel it all like coming out. Sounds like, but it's like, is that a fart? No, it's completely different.
I feel it's like an energy leakage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a sieve. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
And during that time, my nose also dripped constantly. I didn't find out till later that was brain fluid. I used to think, oh, I had allergies. Yeah, I was in a real bad way. Thankfully, I'm so much better. Health is our wealth, and I finally got my wealth back. It's taken many, many years, but
yeah, that's why I'll never be anti-cannabis because of all of the health benefits, especially for people with chronic pain or like severe autoimmune disorders. Yeah. All of this stuff, like if cannabis was genuinely researched and looked at in a way where it could like. you can't even get funding to research cannabis unless you're looking for a detrimental effect. Like, you
Yeah.
think that doesn't skew the fucking results?
Sure does. And that's it's really the only thing. I don't smoke regularly anymore, but if I'm having a gastrointestinal situation and I need
It's
relief,
all about being real with yourself.
and I take one little puff and it floods me with the relief. There is something. And I don't even have any pills in my house. I don't have Tylenol. I don't keep Imodium. Like, I don't keep any sort
Even
of.
during my tolerance breaks, I'm taking CBD. I love CBD.
Yeah. Are you doing a tincture? Are you
I
doing
have
like a
both. I have a
tincture?
1-to-1 CBD CBG tincture, and then I have
Uh-huh.
also just CBD like liquid gel, basically.
Yeah. I think there's something so healing.
Oh, it's
If we
definitely good
let,
for inflammation for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. But again, it's the balance, we can't
Hmm.
be, and I think it's because I have taken a big step back and now I can use it in a way that is therapeutic
Well,
and
CBD is actually
meaningful.
anti-intoxicating. So we would
Oh,
tell
wow.
people, like, if you're too high, if you feel like you're too high,
Mhm.
take CBD. That's actually one of the most effective ways, aside from like eating a actual black peppercorn, of
Oh, that can
coming
take your
down.
high down, a black peppercorn?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Where are you on mushrooms right now?
Oh,
What are you doing?
I love magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
I did them a lot in college, and I grew them even as recently as like 2015. I had a child in 2014, so I kind of hadn't
You're
really
like,
done
less
it.
mushrooms.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I love them. I think speaking of balance, the balance point for me on that has gotten to, like, like, depending on the strain, like a super strong strain, I'm not doing more than a half a gram.
Mm,
And then, like, even like a regular strength strain, no more than a gram. Like,
yeah.
there's just no point.
Right. You don't
I'm
need to
already
go.
tripped out enough.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't need to.
That's how I
Yeah,
feel. I'm
yeah,
already feeling
yeah. I'm just
psychedelic.
looking to
Yeah.
feel good. I'm looking to get like the health benefits out of it, the desire to like stretch and let my blood reach its fingertips and my toe
Yeah.
tips, and
Yeah.
just
Big
breathing.
yawns.
Yeah, getting my breathing. What do they call that?
Your box breathing, kind of I
Well,
do
the
love
word I
though.
was looking for is more like a robotic word. Calibrating my
Mm,
breathing.
I love it.
Getting myself calibrated in general.
There is a sensation that I've achieved. I've only been psychedelic twice, but I do remember experiencing a sensation where it was as if the oxygen flow was so pure. Like, there was like the air coming in was so seamless.
Hmm.
It felt different. Breathing felt different.
Hmm.
Um, but I did find one more thing on the sovereignty. It was influenced by there's an association with the word reign, and it's all about, like, chief and ruler and
Hmm.
supreme
Yeah, the word rain is
leader.
right in there.
And what's interesting is we've been having a ton of horse syncs on Realize Radio and the reins of a
Hmm.
horse. That
Hmm.
reminded me. But also 2026 is going to be the year of the horse.
Hmm.
So I think so that just jumped out to me. I didn't get that far. And when I stopped at super anus, but then because that really took my attention. I was like, well, that's one of my favorite things. Buttholes. I talk about them way too much on Realize Radio, but I do. I'm not that embarrassed about it, but the word rain, yeah, I think that is, it's winking at me right now, because it's something that has been a focus recently, actually, really in the past month. The horse sinks have just exploded. Even today, there was some headline about how, like, this whole Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, there was like something about like Trump blowing a horse or something like that. I'm like, these are real headlines in the news right now. Like, this, we're devolving.
Where are we?
Okay,
Like,
I know, but
it's just insanity.
I'm
And
just
people
Googling.
just act like
Yeah,
everything's just
yeah,
hunky-dory. Like,
yeah. Fact check. This is on Yahoo News. Fact check. Bubba reference in Mark Epstein's email to brother Jeffrey was not about Trump and a horse. it's been confirmed. But the fact that we even have to fact check that, like, we are living in wild, wild times right now. We are so devolved. I'm thankful that I don't like these headlines. I find so humorous
Yeah,
because I
yeah, yeah. We don't
don't,
believe any of this shit, but it's
right.
just like there
Yeah.
are people like
There's a lot of
I mean,
people
my
right now
grandma's
like, can you
90,
believe he blew a
91.
horse? Or, and it's like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah. No, I know. My grandma was like 91 or 92, and to me, it's like, does she believe this shit, or does she like, or is she like just going along with it, knowing that it's just all bullshit, and this just like, what else are we supposed to do, type shit? Like, I don't get, because I know people are too smart for this, but like, they just keep going. It's just
well,
like
it's kind of
whatever.
wild. It's kind of wild because I remember in like 20 when I was really in it in like the conspiracy world, 2017, 2018, 2019. I remember like wishing so badly. Like I remember talking to my family about Jeffrey Epstein and like Pedo Island or whatever. And everyone was like, that's so silly. What are you even talking about? All that's nonsense, blah, blah, blah. And now, I don't even believe that stuff anymore. I'm
Now
on
you're
the,
like,
I don't,
damn, they were right.
but now my family is like, can you believe that Jeffrey Epstein's a pedophile? And I'm like, oh my God. I would
Yeah,
have loved to be able, I would have,
yeah.
we are the timing,
The
just
timing was
the
just off a
timing was
little bit.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And maybe that just means, maybe I was just I'm a couple of years ahead of my, maybe they'll be doing my transition as well. I do think, this is one of, not necessarily a thesis, but it's something I deeply believe. You have to be in it to be on the other side and appreciate it. Like you first have to
Yeah.
be tricked. You first have to be in the audience of the magician's trick and go, oh my God, how do you do
Yeah.
that? And then one
Yeah.
day, perhaps you'll be able to see it from a different angle. You'll
Like
be able
I'm
to
the
see the sleight of
magician.
hand. Yeah, exactly. We're all we all become magicians. We are really magical. That is something too. Human beings are so this world is magical and we are extraordinarily powerful and kind of tapping into our creative, and I don't just mean like arts, I mean like true creation, like actually creating the world. I like to say we render as we go. We really do. We influence this place. We have far, far, far more influence on this world than the world has on us. But we've never been allowed to see that. We've never been allowed to access that individually or collectively. And we're kind of starting to. We're kind of starting. I'm certainly recognizing that in my own life with just wild sinks and within the community sinks, content sinks, and I'm realizing and even like manifesting this new chapter of my life, like this apartment that I find myself in. I spent about a year waiting patiently for this place to become available, and I didn't, and it really only. I was kind of waiting for the perfect place. And then I shuffled some of the decks in my life. I made some decisions and I kind of cleared some psychic space. And
I feel that.
the very next day, wouldn't you know it, this place just magically appears. And I'm like, well, this is perfect. This is what I've been looking for this whole time. But the universe was kind of waiting on me, to make some decisions and to.
I feel that strongly. In fact, I was I'm in a three-bedroom house. It's not, it's not the nicest house in the world by any means, but the price I got on it, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want it to be public, but like it's half off. It's less than half off.
Wow, you got a good deal. That's
But
amazing.
here's how it happened. Exactly what you're talking about. I was just like looking online for a room, even, a studio, whatever, because I just needed to get out of the situation I was in. And my coworker, who I didn't even know is a realtor as his side job,
Oh, cool.
walks behind me, sees that I'm looking for a place to stay, and he's like, I gotta kick my tenant out. I'm only charging him this much money. And I'm like, and he's like, he's not even paying that. And I'm like, I'll pay that.
Wow. Right place, right time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
Timing really is
But I
everything.
had to, if it wasn't already on my screen, if I wasn't already making that intention, it's
Yeah.
like I actually did manifest it, but I couldn't have manifested it at what I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like this is all
And I
bullshit.
think action is a huge part of manifestation. People
Yeah,
don't realize that.
100%.
People think manifestation is just all up here. Oh, if I
Mhm.
just dream it, if I just imagine it, if I just think about it all day long, it's going to happen. No, you have to be like purposefully in action
Right. A hundred
on
percent.
this thing. You have to be doing.
Yep, that's the
I
fourth agreement. If you don't do your best, the first three agreements are just in your
You know,
head.
the Four Noble Agreements, those have blown up, and you're the first person that ever introduced that to me so many years ago. And now it's everywhere. It's like accepted canon. It's like on everybody's.
And,
I
and
know
and people
so
have
many
no
people.
idea though, HV. It kind of pisses me off
I
because
know.
people
It's a
do
little
not understand it at all. They're like, "Oh,
right.
it's on Oprah's book list." Like
Mm-mm.
your reading comprehension is. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm glad it's getting the attention it's getting.
I'm thankful that
The
you
depth is just
showed me.
you just have to continue reading it too.
Yeah.
Also, like I've been there. I've been there. I'm not gonna. I'm so. I apologize for even putting that energy out there. Like I'm very grateful it's getting the attention it's getting. It's just it's so like people's understanding of it is so like
Well, it's the same
surface.
thing as like
It's the
when your
surface
favorite.
of the surface of the surface. It's the fucking clear coat. You know that's what
That's
that.
a great way to put it. Yeah.
It's unbelievable how shallow people's understanding of it really is.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad it's getting the attention it's getting because it's got to get the surface level attention before it can go any deeper. You know what I mean? It's got to start somewhere. So
Yeah.
I'm happy for that, but
Yeah.
maybe my impatience is showing a little bit. But
It sounds like your favorite like hometown band that you've been supporting forever. Like they finally made it big, and you're like, they don't really know how deep this goes.
it's
They can't
exactly like that.
appreciate these songs.
It's
They don't
yeah,
understand.
it's exactly like
They just
that.
like the singles, and that's all.
Yeah, it's 100% like that. But at the same time, I gotta appreciate that it's getting the
Yeah.
attention it's getting. So better than not getting attention, right? So I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. But it's funny we were talking about magic. I actually had that pulled up as one of the very few things. I've only got one thing after this, so it's like one of the very few things I even had. And so, how do you define magic?
How would I define magic? I guess a supernatural experience that can't really be explained by accepted understandings of reality as we know it, the ability to conjure, the ability to know. Like I think even like psychic or
Like intuition?
the intuition I think is a very magical property. That's a great question. How would I define magic? And it's, I think that we're very hamstrung by visualizations of like crystal balls and witches' cauldrons and, like even evil black magic. But I think it goes so far
Sorceries.
beyond. I think like childhood is magic,
That's
and
100%. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like kids are very, very tapped into their
To the present
magical
moment.
powers. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
might have something being, because when you're a kid, you're not conscious of the past or the future.
Oh, it's 100% all about that.
You're
It's
in the
that they're
present.
immersed in
Yeah.
the moment. They'll fight, and then you'll see this is something
And
that
they'd
I'm
be,
sure
"You're my
everybody
friend."
has experienced, right? You'll see kids fighting, and then their parents or their moms will start fighting because the kids are fighting. Then the kids go back to playing, and then the parents are still fighting, and then they never make up, and the kids don't hang out again. Like I'm exaggerating the last part, but it's like that's a thing that could kind of happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even like in Invisible Friends and things like that. I think that, and just the ability to imagine and to play for hours and hours and hours, I think that if we as adults could maintain our childlike wonder and our imaginative
I
properties
think
and our
forgiveness is the key.
play.
Forgiveness is the key to even that situation I just explained, because the kids just immediately forgive each other, like, oh, I got a playmate right here. What's the point of being mad?
Yeah.
That happened 20 seconds ago. That's just over.
And forgiveness really, it's a tough one, but it's a game changer. If you can forgive yourself,
Yep.
that's
It starts with that, as with
yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you can forgive others, because we hold on to resentments, and it's just a toxic, it's just poison. It's just so poisonous.
And it's all stories that we've convinced ourselves to believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, it's part of the Lord's Prayer. I'm not super religious, but like to forgive trespasses, you know, those who have forgive us of our trespasses, because we do and we will to err as human. And we're going to make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes, and carried around a guilt, you know, for those mistakes. I'm just now learning how to like realize that a lot of my mistakes were learning opportunities, and I have learned and I have grown. And for that reason, it was meant to be. But yeah, to forgive others, to forgive others, that's
Preach.
tough, you know? And, you know, so much of it, even with, you said stories, we carry around stories. I mean, I used to have like some hangups about childhood of like, oh, my family did this, or, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. But now, and I mean, I was holding on to those into adulthood. Like that was part of my personal story. And now I've realized like literally everything that happened, everything that went down, they were just doing the best they could. My parents, you know, my family unit, everyone was just trying to get along, to go along, and everyone was doing truly the best they could with what they had. And it's made you stronger. You are where you are who you are because of that. And it felt very lightening to let go of the story, like the resentment, but mostly the story.
You can change the story. The story is still is being written right now, you know?
Yeah.
With everything that you agree to or disagree with or speak or don't speak.
Yeah. And our spoken word is very, very powerful. And, you know, I do think back to magic. I do think, you know, I love vocabulary. I love etymology. You know, I love words. But I think language is just artifice. I think that so much of what is actually happening is just vibrations coming from our instrument, our vocal.
Well, isn't there that like mathematical law, like every language follows the same, like and, you know, like.
Yeah, there's base operating. There's a base operating structure for all of language. I had this weird thought the other day. Now that we're being able to play with AI and see how instantaneous the generations are, I kind of feel it wouldn't be that surprising. I mean, I could do this today. I could say, I'm going to provide a base language. It's got every word. And then I need you to scramble it. And from this base language, we're going to create 1,000 incomprehensible to each other languages.
Like some Tower of Babel shit.
100%. 100%. And I think that, because when you really start learning language and you start speaking multiple languages, and I dabble, I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but I do love language, and I lived overseas when I was a kid, and I do think that helped me have like a tuned ear for multiple languages, and I pick up languages very easily. My ex-husband was South Korean, and so I learned quite a bit of Korean. 안녕하세요. But I think that there is just like you said, an underlying base. There's one.
It's math. I think math is the universal language.
Yeah.
Like sacred geometry and just geometry in general.
Maths.
Yeah. Maths.
Rambo always says maths because he's from the UK.
Well, it's math. It is mathematics.
It is mathematics. Yeah, mathematics. Reading, writing, arithmetic is what. That's what they used to teach in school when my dad went to school. My dad was born in 1946. He's no longer with us. His birthday was yesterday. Celebrated that. But I remember, he was kind of describing his early school. He went to school in a very small town in Texas, and they had 3 courses: reading, writing, arithmetic, and they, it's kind of funny. This is a tangent, but like they didn't learn about space or dinosaurs. Like that was not part of curriculum for many generations. Like that's new. Like all that learning that, and kids these days, that's all they learn. That's all they learn when they, right out of the womb. It's like T-Rex, outer space. You want to be an astronaut when you grow up. And I've talked about this many times on Realize Radio. I think that outer space and dinosaurs are intrinsically connected with how children are kind of taught to know the world. And outer space gives this concept of a far, far, far out. And dinosaurs give a concept of a far, far, far back. And I don't think either are accurate. I don't think that there is an outer space. I think that everything we've ever been shown of outer space is cartoons from NASA, from Disney. Ultimately, Disney is. I've done
I
a
mean,
long presentation on
yeah.
that. And then, dinosaur, it's just, I think it's just keeping us, again, you said that, like, it's keeping us from really being in the present or recognizing how powerful the here and now is.
Mm.
Because if we're always looking up and out to the star, to Mars for answers, or back in time, the historical geological record billions and billions of years ago, and it's always shifting. They're always finding new bones, which like resets what our understanding of when humans walked the earth or whatever. Like there's never terra firma, there's never consensus, there's never like a solid ground to really root into with these concepts. It's just always kind of fucking us up all the time, always shifting. But both of those things, the up and out and the far back, it keeps us from focusing on here and now, and like how impactful that this is, every passing moment
Keeps our attention outside of our own
yeah.
self, and literally because the present is your embodiment of the present too.
Yeah.
And so like when I was listening to you just there, it's like they have us looking back, like the way we currently or the way most people currently perceive time, it's very easy for them to understand like the things that you do right now affect your future.
Mhm.
But when you understand that all of time is connected, it's just a stream of nows, consecutive nows.
Yeah.
Like this now, you can change the past. It sounds
Yeah. I
incredible
believe
to a
that.
certain belief system, but when you actually question your belief system in the nature of time, like, yeah, this moment you can change the past, you know?
Yeah. I
Just
believe
by
that.
how
I've
you
actually
construct
seen,
your story about it. Like you were talking about, like these terrible things happened to me, but well, wait a minute, it actually made me even better and an improved
yeah,
version of now I'm updated. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And rewiring my own view of past events has actually like changed my heart, changed my
Mm.
heart of, and again, it goes back to the forgiveness and just the more openness to the folly of being alive,
And then
or
space is just like
yeah,
a little bit more simple. It's just you're looking out instead of looking in for
right,
answers about anything, about our
right.
existence or our purpose, any of
Yeah.
that.
And I don't know what necessarily Earth is. Is it a place? Is it a learning? Is it like a school? Are we
Hmm.
here? Or is it more like a boot camp? Like we're on a mission of
I
some
think it's like a
sort?
school, but it's like a school playground hybrid.
Yeah. When
Like
we need to
a
be playing more.
For sure, for
We need to be
sure,
playing more.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
I do feel like as human vibration, it's been almost 6 years now, January of 2020. So 2020, so coming up in just 2 months, it'll be my 6 year anniversary as HV. It was crazy. But I think that it has truly like led me back into a childlike mindset. Like I love to explore. I find so much beauty in the world that I feel like is missed by most people.
Mhm.
And I'm more open to play, and just, and I think that actually, I think that can change your biological age,
100%.
actually. Yeah.
100%.
And I think that the way that we move through this world,
On one of my more recent video posts that I put on Instagram, one of my homies was like, "Yo, you're aging backwards."
you do. I was gonna say at the beginning, I was like, "What beauty routine are you on? Give me your secrets, girl." Your hair is very shiny. Your teeth are bright. Your skin is clear. You look,
The psychic energy, HV, it was moving. Number one, it
yeah.
was moving. It was moving. Uh,
Sometimes they say like wherever you go, there you are, which is
yeah,
true. It's true. Like if you have baggage and you're not working through it and you just change your location, that's not going to change anything about you. But if you're doing the inner work and you pair a change of location with a lot of purposeful change within, it multiplies, it magnifies, and that new space, back to the magic. Like I think that it will, a whole new world will open up, a whole new world of opportunity.
in my case, it was a little different. I feel like the inner work has been done. It was just getting really polished because I was in a situation, I was living with my ex. I'll just put it out there. I was living with my ex. We got married in 2014. We got divorced in 2017. She moved out of the house that I was in. And then she moved back in because we were trying to make it work. We have a child together.
Yeah.
Um, and she actually moved back in October of 2019. And the whole thing was
Oh,
like,
with
let's give it
COVID.
6 months.
Just
And,
kidding. Let's
and
give it a couple years.
see, and then literally 6 months later was March of 2020. So, and then I think we've both kind of felt stuck there.
Yeah.
And I don't think she wanted to move out again because it's a really good area for school. And,
Yeah.
TJ going back and forth was a lot. So it was just like, if you don't want to live with me, you're gonna have to move out this time. And it's like, yeah, you're right. But it's been like you were saying, like the space, just clearing that space, the
Mhm.
actual physical space of being able to actually be that person that I've cultivated and get
Yeah.
away from the energy that was like,
Holding you back.
I
Or
don't even want to
not
say
holding, but like
holding me
suppressing.
back, but not supportive
Yeah.
and not in alignment with my goals and my vision, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's people and I mean, I love my family, but whenever I go visit family, like for holidays and stuff, I regress right back into that girl in high school who has no energy and is trying to crawl to class because I'm losing all my energy through my butthole. Like I can kind of feel
Yeah.
that girl coming back online. Like I
Like why,
kind of,
like you're
you
telling
know,
yourself, like, why do I even fake this? Like, why am I being
I
fake?
know. It's you go right back into old dynamics, and I
Yeah.
love my family and they're wonderful people, but like so I do feel myself kind of dimming
Yeah, yeah.
and then there's other spaces and places.
Playing small,
Yeah. And yeah, and there's other
pretending like you're not the shit. You clearly
yeah.
are. You know what I
Even
mean?
in my old neighborhood, I didn't really know anybody. Like I talked about this on the show, but I feel like I have an ability to put on an invisibility cloak. And I think it's just an energy. It's just a don't fuck with me energy where I'm not making eye contact. I'm not here. I'm not here to chat. And I lived in that space for many, yeah, well, like 5 years, and I never really met anybody in my neighborhood. Just the neighbor across the street. That was the only person I ever interacted with. It's the only person I ever knew, and that was where I was at during that time. But when I moved to this place, I have been so purposeful about being open, meeting people, introducing myself to people. I even started this local yoga club where I'm just like leading yoga in the park, and it's free, and I put flyers up, and anybody can join who wants to join, and it's been a great way to meet, some potential gal pals, and just kind of share something that is a big part of my life and that I would be doing anyway,
The
and
yoga is super legit.
yeah.
I'm a big fan. One of my friends, she is an instructor, and whenever I'm up in her area, which is like an hour from here, but I've gone a couple times, and I'm just like, my ass is whooped. Like I have a different
Oh,
respect
it's
for the
such a
strength
good
of those
workout,
girls that are
actually.
like
Yeah.
doing the pigeon poses and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you on?
Yeah. I mean,
That's intense.
it can be a very, very intense workout, and
Yeah.
it gets everything. It's the mind body connection, it's the breath
Mhm.
work. It is actually a physical
The core.
rigor, rigorous for your body.
Mhm.
I have never finished a yoga session feeling worse than when I started.
It's a,
100% of the time,
it's like
I
a
feel better.
flush. You feel
Yeah.
rejuvenated
So
afterward.
much
You're like a
energy.
brand new person for real.
Yeah. And
It's
it turns
incredible.
on that inner catalytic converter, whatever that is,
Mhm.
that engine we've got inside of us that, sometimes you think you need to do XYZ to get energy, drink some coffee, whatever, take a substance, all these things, all these outside sources to kickstart that inner fire. But I have found that doing purposeful stretching and purposeful movement combined with breath work, all that, under the category of yoga, that's it for me. Like that's if I need a pick me up, I just do a quick little flow. Like it doesn't even need to be a full yoga session, but I can get myself going just with moving. It seems counterintuitive. Like how does exerting yourself give you energy? But it does. It really does.
Especially purposefully, and like,
Yeah.
and there's a certain, again, balancing. It's like there's
Yeah.
this kind of sympathetic parasympathetic dance, and the dance itself gives energy, you know?
Yeah. And with the balance, like you have to warm up to certain things. Like I don't do now, like I go through, I write out like the regimen for class, and it always starts with the warm up and then it goes into balancing, because you have to warm up the body before you can be ready to challenge the balance and like lock into that type of focus, anyway, but I do think that it's all like this. It's purposeful. It has to be purposeful and it has to be mindful. And it's so interesting. I mean, we're talking about a totally different subject. We're talking about yoga right now, but it mirrors beautifully like what we were talking about earlier with just smoking pot or
Oh,
drinking alcohol.
100%.
These things. Like the key here seems to be, no matter what you're doing, you need to be mindful about it. And this reminds me of, again, back to magic. You mentioned time earlier, about how
Mhm.
time is not just linear. It's much more malleable than I think that we've ever really allowed ourselves to realize. I used to be the type of person that was always like, oh my God, I'm running late. Oh, no, I don't have time for anything. How am I
Yeah.
ever going to do all this? I have no time. That set my world. I was
Hmm.
late, didn't have time. Now, and I've had to rewrite my programming, and rewriting your program is not easy, but it can be done. Again, it's very purposeful. But I no longer ever tell myself I'm running late. I no longer ever tell myself I don't have time for XYZ. I tell myself there's time for everything. Just do it. There will be time for everything. And if I do feel like I'm starting to run late, instead of rushing, I slow down. I slow it down. I just slow it down, and I say, you will make it. Everything's going to work out. You're going to get there right on time. Do not rush. Do not rush. Do not allow, because I think if you rush, time actually goes faster.
I agree.
And I think that we can control time. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but sometimes when you look down at your watch, even if it doesn't matter if it's digital or analog, like tick, 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 or like if you can see the numbers going up on your digital interface, like if you look down at the watch, like it almost seems like the time holds just an extra microsecond, like it's just little longer than it should. Your awareness of it almost like freezes it. I've noticed that I used to notice that as a kid all the time. I would look at my watch and I'd wear those little tick, 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 just a regular manual watch face. And the time when I would look down, it would seem like the second hand was holding, like it was holding like a beat longer than it should, and then it would go back to its thing. But like that one moment where I
Yeah.
took notice of it, it just kind of seemed to hang there for me, and I would
Hmm.
always go like, that's weird. But what I think I was beginning to exercise without realizing it was this time dilation, this personal time dilation, and we
Hmm.
can control time.
Our
Our
perception of it.
relationship with time is
Hmm.
very
Personal.
personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. You use the word reprogramming there, and I know I talk about it multiple times every time I do a podcast, but that's literally what the four agreements are. Like it's
Mm.
it's a guide to reprogram yourself to be free. And
Yeah.
that's what the four agreements are. But the chapter six is breaking old agreements, and it's the longest chapter. And that's, I mean, you have to break old agreements in order for the new ones to take hold, to be planted in that fertile ground where the ground had been tilled, to get all that old stuff,
Yeah.
shaken up again and revitalizing the soil.
And
Um,
the first agreement has changed my life. Like, be impeccable with your word. I worked in corporate America, and like little white lies were just a part of my life.
oh
Like
yeah.
all, like my job literally, truly was like lying to clients,
Yeah.
telling them a story that made it seem, if we fucked up, just figure out a way to say it where it doesn't sound like we're to blame, or, like just
Yeah.
literally do anything.
Yeah.
Now, and
Literally.
I now and like that was, and then I would also tell little white lies in any situation. Like it wasn't, I was always trying to cover my ass with a lie. If
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucked up, I was,
We all
and it
do
was,
it.
we do it.
Yeah.
I do not do it anymore. it's been a few years now of very, very, again, reprogramming. And I, a lot of it started with you introducing this concept in the book to me, the Be Impeccable. I already I had an inkling that this is where it needed to be, but I no longer ever, even if I'm like, it's just a very random example. Like if I get in my work life, if I get a client email and they ask me to do something, like, and I'm about to do it, I never say like I've done it unless I've actually done it. Like I never even if it like I know it's going to happen immediately, like I do not misrepresent what is the actual situation, even if it doesn't mean anything one way or the other, or even if I'm about to do it and I don't hit send until the thing is done and I can truly say, oh, here we go. Or if I fuck up, I never try to like mitigate. I never try to find an excuse that like, shuffles the blame off myself. It's very empowering to go, I fucked up. Here's why. And here's what I am doing to make sure this never happens again. Because mistakes happen, mistakes. Sometimes you forget to do something. Sometimes you do something and it's not correct. And instead of getting defensive or trying to like perfectly word something to where all blame is just nebulous and it's somewhere else other than me, there's like to take ownership of the things that go wrong or the things that could be done better. Like to take ownership of that is that's another game changer. It's yeah, and it's weird how much my work life involved little white lies. And I worked in like advertising, so it's not at all surprising because it's literally, that's the whole thing, is like lying to consumers about this product. Oh, we're the best. No, you're not. But yeah, and it's been I realized how much it was like taking over my actual lived experience, like just little white lies. And they seem so harmless. Like, what's the harm? But it's robbing something from us. And so
it's literally a parasite. That's how the Four Agreements view lies. They're energetic parasites.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Because the truth is love. The truth is love. So anything that's a lie is going against love. If you're doing that, then you're bringing your energy down.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up.
Love is the answer.
The Four Agreements are magic. And I'm going to give a definition of magic that I agree with before we're done, but they literally are magic. Like I've been reading them for my channel. That's been one of the things I've been doing. I haven't been doing as many podcasts because I was doing the move. This one is number one in the new house, and I am trying to rev up the content.
This is other than Realize Radio, this is my first guest appearance in my new space.
Nice. So, nice.
First, but we're both sharing that, kind of first in.
So internet sage and
yes, truly, yeah.
But when I read, even the other chapters too, but when I read the most recent one, Don't Make Any Assumptions, like I think if you watch that video of me reading it, there's a couple times where I like had to pause, and I didn't edit the pause out because it was just like such a real moment where you can tell like this shit is hitting me really hard right now. And I've read this book 100 times. And that's what I mean by its magic. Like the Fifth Agreement is written by his son. And he says in the introduction, like every time you read the Four Agreements, you're reading a new book. And that's because it's magic. And you're a new person every time you've read it, especially if you've taken these agreements to heart. And it's incredible. Like I've read it over 100 times now, HV, and it doesn't even relate to the first time I read the book. It's a totally different experience because I am 100 times more self-aware. I don't even.
I love how transformative books can be. Yeah, and I find that I will revisit, and it's not. I mean, I'll revisit like a work of fiction, a book that I love, that I've read a few times, and then I'll revisit it now. And I will find so much depth to it that was unavailable to me. I enjoyed the book, first, second round, enjoyed it, but the depth was. But
it was like 64 pixels versus 4K.
Yeah, 8-bit versus 4K for sure. And and you said something about, it's not the same book 'cause you're not the same man. There is a proverb or a saying, a man can't cross a river twice because he is not the same man and it is not the same river. And so every time, and I do think that that is how we should be appreciating this world. Like we can change, and as we change, I think the world around us changes with it.
I don't think it's that we can change. I think we can't help but change. But the
Yeah.
question is, are you navigating? Are you in the driver's seat or are you in the passenger seat?
That's powerful. Yeah. Jesus, take the wheel. No,
Yeah,
drive your own car.
Exactly.
Drive your own car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the vehicle comparison is very interesting because I do think that the human body is a vehicle, is a sort of, I mean, like there's lots of language like vessel, but this is our motion machine, our machine for ambulation. That's
Don
kind of an
Miguel, in one of his books, he calls
yeah.
it his favorite toy. Like our body is it's our toy that we get to play with all the time.
Yeah, it's like that little Tykes play school car. Beep, beep. Yeah, just we're cruising around. We're cruising around. And you can either keep your vehicle in tip-top shape.
Yeah, and I was about to say stretching. We were just talking about that's how you keep the toy operating at its highest degree because you're getting
Yeah.
in all of those in between cells, all those in between tissues and muscles. You're
Yeah,
giving
the
those
fiber.
areas life, allowing blood flow to go through there,
Yeah.
all of that.
And with the breathing too, this is something that I like to lead. I do like a retention breath at the end, and I talk about how when you're exhaling, we should be focusing on getting that old stale air out because we can carry around old air in our lungs for like weeks because we just
Mhm.
never purposefully expel it. It just kind of hangs at the bottom of our lung sacs, and we just sometimes you never think to just do extreme deep breathing and
Mhm.
also deep exhalation, and it's kind of it's rejuvenating. It's rejuvenating to it's like, I mean, we are not like pounding any brand new pavement here. Breath is important, That's, breath is important to
It's
human
so
life.
much more important than
Right.
even people who think it's important is though. Like
Yeah.
there's a book called Breath by this guy James Nestor, and he basically like studied the phenomenon inside and out, and I mean, it is literally life.
Yeah.
Literally, like quite literally, our connection to breath is our connection to life. So
Yeah.
it's
One
divine.
thing as a kid, my like holding my breath was always my dad was a Marine, and
Mm.
he didn't really he had some very interesting uh, parenting skills. But one thing that he would do with me and my brother, I have an older brother. My dad would do like military style breath holding techniques and drills. We would do it in the pool, and like he would just teach us how to hold our breath for extraordinary amounts of time. And my brother was older and bigger, and he should have been able to hold his breath for longer just physically. He had larger lungs and just a more developed body system. He should have been able to do it, but I was the one who was able to really turn off the mental stuff. I was the one who was able to get down and like slow my heart rate and completely still my body system, and I could just blow him out of the water with holding my breath. It's such a mental thing, and I don't necessarily think that holding it is where we should be at. Although sometimes I do question oxygen because I think that oxygenation, like what is oxygen? Is this thing that we take in all day, every day. It's a hallucinogenic. Perhaps it's what's actually keeping this whole reality intact, this like elixir that we're constantly bathing our brains in. That might be for another episode. But
You kind of reminds me of DMT.
yeah, I mean, it is like, because with too much oxygen, you can go into a hallucination state. With too little oxygen, you can go into a hallucination state. So that alone tells you that this is a hallucinogenic property.
Balance is important.
Yeah. And I think that, yeah, there's something kind of, I love to question the fundamentals of this place, and oxygen being one of them. What exactly is it? What is this? Is it just the reality juice, that we just take in? keeps this whole situation, whole simulation running. I don't know, but it is interesting how much of my childhood was focused on breath, on the lack of breath, on like, but breathing was a huge like game for like my family. It was very strange. And now I look back, but again, like all these things, I've been training for this my whole life. You know, I've been like, my whole life has been some sort of like training exercise for whatever mission I'm on now. It's not necessarily clear to me, but I do feel like I'm on some very important mission. And I choose to accept it, even if I don't necessarily know what it is. But yeah, breathing, it can, and you, I mean, like the whole box, people, you can put yourself in a totally different minds, the box breathing, the breath, you know, certain types of breathing. I mean, you can also, breathing can be a negative thing, because if you don't breathe correctly, you can go into a hyperventilation state.
Like
You can
mouth
actually
breathing. Yeah.
and you can breathe yourself into an anxiety if you're not doing it right.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's, again, back to mindfulness. We can, if we're not being mindful about these processes, these everyday processes, we can lose something very, very important. We can also gain something very, very important if we take back that power, take back the wheel, you know, of our own vehicle, and begin to comprehend and appreciate and experiment, you know, with our body systems. I do talk about a lot on the show. I do a lot of self experimentation. Because I'm the only one that I only have autonomy over my body. Like I can't experiment on anybody else. But I think that I kind of treat my body system sometimes as a lab. I love too much information. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. But there was like about a year ago, I remember I was doing a fast because I was just curious. I was curious about what my body would do if I removed solid food. And I was blown away by how much waste product like existed in my body long after I'd stopped eating. Like it was shocking. It was shocking to me.
How long did you go?
About a week.
Okay.
It wasn't
Yeah.
that long.
Well, I mean, I've only gone 3 days and my body starts getting hangry.
Yeah. I will never do it again. I will never do it again. I don't
I
think
quit pork though, and I feel like
Oh yeah.
now that I've quit, I've heard
I
in
mean,
the
many
health
religions
community
say
like
don't do it. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of parasites in pork that like cause you to be really, even if you're not eating pork like super recently before you start fasting, if those parasites are still in you when you start to fast, like you can only go like 2 or 3 days before your body's like, and I think that's why a lot of the older religions, especially the ones that have fasting schedules, are anti-pork as well.
Wow, that's an interesting connection. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
yeah, now I'm realizing like
So
those
now
theories.
when I go to fast next time, because I've been off of pork like since mid-August, so it's been like
Okay.
3 months now. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try fasting again after like January 1st, maybe for like
Yeah.
a week or so. Even though the winter is like the hardest season to fast,
Yeah.
but either way, even if it's the springtime before I fast again, it not being on pork, I think will allow me to go longer before my body is like screaming at me for some like trash substance, you
Yeah.
know?
I do think we as humans, as society, I think we eat too much. Like
Especially in America.
yeah. And it's not even like that we're eating too much bad food. Like is that, because that is true. But I also think that some people are just eating like the volume, whether it's good or bad. I think that the volume of food is just too much. I think that we're kind of taxing our systems, our digestive system, you know. And everyone's always like, "Oh, I need my little snack," and "Oh, I eat 6 micro meals a day or whatever." Like I weirdly like I just kind of want to eat once. I just want to eat once per
I'm the
day.
same way,
I
HV.
just
I eat like one meal a day for the most
Yeah,
part.
give me all my nutrition. I'll eat it. It'll be a big meal, you know. It'll satiate me, but I don't want to be thinking about food. I don't want
I
to be
think
thinking.
that's actually natural though. Like our
Yeah,
our primitive like body, our primitive ways are like, we would go a week at a time without eating, and then we'd have a feast for like
yeah,
3 or 4 days,
yeah,
on the
and that
bison
feels
or
more
the
right for
big
me.
game that we killed.
Yeah, and I've noticed like I sleep so much better if I go to bed slightly hungry. We're not talking about going to bed with like a rumbling stomach, because that you can't go to sleep like that. But like I can't eat right before bed. It has to be a few hours because I feel like sleep is supposed to be a very regenerative time, restoration time for all sorts of processes, for all sorts of things in the body. But if your body is tasked with digestion during that time, that's what it's spending its time doing, digesting. It's not spending its time doing all the other really important cleaning out and fleshing out and regenerating, cell regeneration, all sorts of things that are really supposed to be happening, the repair while we're asleep. I think that if we're actively digesting, it takes so much energy. It's a very energy greedy cycle. Like our digestive system is
Like our
very
CPU
energetically.
is already at 50% when we
100%.
start.
That's a great connection.
Right.
Yeah. It takes up a lot of background RAM
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't leave any room for other things that need to be going on. It compromises all the other processes. And so I have actually found a huge benefit personally with my sleep, with my overall health, just with really everything. When I, my last meal is like nowhere near bedtime. Yeah. And also it's taken a while, but I've also kind of got myself off like sweets, because I was a real sweet, it's like a fiend for sugar for many, many years. And now I no longer crave it. I had to break the addiction first, or just break the cycle, break the habitual relationship, always needing a little sweet treat. A little sweet treat after this, I have a meal, I have to have a little sweet treat. I no longer have any sort of cravings in that way. And I think reducing the amount of sugar that I take in, just processed foods in general, it's kind of gotten me to like break a general obsession with food. Like, always thinking about it. When's my next little treat? When's my next meal? I think we have too much celebration around food, and it makes it very emotional, and people no longer really know when they're hungry because they're just like, we just lose our
Emotional
cues.
eating, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, and let
I've
thy
gotten to the point
food be thy
that
medicine, medicine be thy food. It should be like that, and we're not our relationship with it. I mean, this is like everything we've talked about. The relationship with cannabis, we're not doing it right. Our relationship as a society with alcohol, we're not doing it right. Our relationship with food, we're not doing it right. Our relationship with time, we're not doing it right.
yeah, all of it's even like the way we look at time and everything you said before that is like all angled with escapism
Yeah.
or like
Ooh.
approached with escapism or yeah. It's
Yeah.
not about embodiment, it's about escaping the
Yeah.
body. Even our religions are like anti-body, like the Christian
Yeah.
religion is very like the body is sinful and all that. It's like I
Right.
disagree with that
I
100.
disagree
I
with
think the
that.
body
Yeah.
is spiritual. That's like part of the liter that's actually one of the more mindful aspects of me calling this the balancing act.
Yeah.
Like
It's a great name.
like materialism is spiritual. It's not like stop, they're not exclusive. Like the body is spiritual. The body is
Yeah.
it has living cells. All the cells are breathing just like we have our own, respiratory system. Every cell has a respiratory system. Every cell has an excretory system,
That's
you
right.
know?
We got them buttholes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like it's all life. Like the embodiment should be the focus, not escape.
Yeah.
It's not that we have to stop hating our own bodies. That's like it's kind of
Yeah.
even people who aren't aware that they do it because of religious programming, even if they're not religious, but if their parents were or grandparents were,
Yeah. Body shame.
yeah, they
All
can have
that.
like a more secular view of that same guilt and shame.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everything should be celebrated. Yeah. There should be a grand celebration, and we should have yeah, a lot of people feel out of control around their body. Like they feel like, nothing they do, like they're, and I've actually felt like that before. But a lot of it was just my relationship with everything else. And, I feel like as I have worked through a lot of the way that I perceive things and substances and my body system, and I just feel like everything's working a lot better now. I'm more mindful. I'm just more careful with everything I put in my body. I'm more gentle. I'm a lot more gentle on myself than I used to be, and I can feel a real positive shift, a real positive change. I no longer feel like I'm in a struggle with my own system. It's very freeing, actually. You mentioned the word escape, and it's all, yeah, and it's like it's almost like I've escaped while still being in my body. I've escaped some sort of dominion that
Mental trap.
yeah, mental trappings for sure, 100%. Yeah, the prison is of our own making. It's a lot of it is in our mind. A lot of these mental constructs hold us back. Again, back to stories. How we can shift and we can change the world. You mentioned how we could change the past by changing the present, and I do think that we can change the present by rewiring our programming. We can change our
By
whole
changing your
experience.
agreements.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm ready for the definition of magic that I liked. It's not my definition, but old Grok helped me out on this one, and I thought it was great, actually. Magic can be defined as the practice of channeling unseen energies or forces, often through intention, ritual, or symbolism, to influence events, transform consciousness, or connect with the mysteries of existence. It's a blend of will, imagination, and belief, historically linked to practices like divination, spell work, or alchemy, and it reflects humanity's quest to shape reality beyond the tangible.
That's great. Yeah.
And another, I mean, I knew I was going to talk to you about this, but I have a special episode coming up because this is episode 99. So for episode 100, I'm getting one of my favorite magicians. He's a magician, and I think that there's a reason why musician and magician sound so
Oh
similar,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
music is real magic. I mean, when you think about that definition, that this is actually how I got Grok to define it. I just asked, is music real magic? So
Oh,
at first it defined magic, and then it said why music is real magic. Music is real magic because it has the power to transcend the physical, stirring emotions, evoking memories, and uniting people in shared experience. It acts like a spell through its rhythm and melody, altering moods and creating a sense of wonder or connection. Its universal appeal lies in its ability to communicate without words, much like a ritual that binds individuals together. Music transforms raw sound into a living force capable of inspiring, healing, or transporting listeners to another realm, mirroring the transformative essence of magic itself. So I love music, and I think this guy that I'm getting on, I don't want to spoil it yet, but he's like internet famous, but he's not super famous, but
uh-huh.
he's a magician and he's a musician, and he's also like not super into the conspiracy stuff, which I find interesting, but I feel like he's just been ahead of us this whole time, like in the creation, because he's a musician. So
Yeah,
I feel like he figured all this stuff out before he was like 17 or some shit, and he's just been a
yeah.
musician this whole time and like
He's tapped
building
in and he doesn't even know
he's
it.
tapped
Yeah,
it. No, he might
yeah.
know it. I don't know if he
Maybe
knows
he
it or
probably
not.
doesn't. That would
I
be
don't
a
know
really
if he
interesting
knows it or
conversation.
not. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what
But
I
he's
know
just
you know, I know
following
you
the
know.
magic. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like shamanistic, like he's a role model for me for sure, because he's just a good
What a
vibe
great episode
person.
100 for you. Yeah, that's very meaningful. Again, like you're doing it. You're doing the purposeful, intentional action.
And to tie another thing that I wanted to mention, I wasn't able to tie it in like seamlessly, but it does relate to everything we've been talking about, is like the algorithms are constantly wanting new content and in like volume of content. Like that's what it's
Yeah.
looking for with their channels and the platforms, is like they want to see a bunch of content, and they're always pushing the newer stuff.
Yeah.
But like for me, I just can't do it all the time. I'm not interested in making money. I'm not interested in being famous. I do it because I love it. And I, yeah, this part might sound egotistical or narcissistic, but it's like I stand by everything I've done. Like the stuff
Yeah.
that I put out 6 years ago, if most people listen to it, it would be new to them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like John
The
Benet
archives
and
are
all that stuff
so
like that we
archives are so
did 4 years
valuable.
ago. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And I
Like
think
that's still
that's why
applicable.
this medium is really impactful because
It's timeless. I really
it
truly
really
feel
is
it.
timeless.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's so much value in the archives.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It's
My
just
first episode was like, the four agreements is the cornerstone of this platform. I'm still talking about it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, can't conscious cannabis. My very first episode, the three things that I said that I wanted this platform to talk about were the four agreements, or Toltec wisdom, if you want to expand on that. Kymatica, which is a documentary that Ben Joseph Stewart put out in 2009.
I'm writing that
Which,
down.
yeah, if you've never seen it, you definitely need to watch that. Talk about ahead of its time. Like, just keep in mind that was made in 2009 as you're watching it.
Okay.
Because
Way back
it's
then.
insane. But kymatica is literally, when you look at the definition of kymatica, it's literally the yin yang in action, like in the present moment, not a symbol, but like the active and the feminine and the masculine interacting in the moment,
Oh, it's
within and
everything.
without us,
Yeah.
at every second, like continuously,
Yeah.
living. So yeah, and I've stuck by it.
Another balancing act. Yin yang is literally a balancing act.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite symbol. I think it's a symbol that is alive, Like, to me it's alive, but it
Yeah.
also, like, even if you are just looking at it as a symbol, it's the symbol that to me can allow the person interacting with that symbol to see the life behind it.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's one of those everyday symbols that means absolutely nothing to some people and absolutely but it's so deep. It can be so kind of like the swastika, I think the swastika has been completely hijacked, and now, you're just
100%.
supposed to see it and go, "Ooh, bad boy," you
Yeah.
Hitler.
Yeah. And it
But
was
I
like
think
like its original thing was like luck, bringing luck, and
bringing
like,
love and luck and
yeah,
peace
and
and
and like positive
enlightenment,
energy.
empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 I'm glad the yin yang wasn't that corrupt. It never got that corrupt.
Right. It's the yin
It
yang.
couldn't be, right? Because it's already half dark, so it's just like, what?
That's
What's gonna
right.
do?
The drop of light and darkness and the drop of dark and the light. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already admitted to being
Yeah.
half dark, so it's
He's
like,
like, I'm
okay,
already showing my shadow self.
yeah,
Y'all don't have to make
exactly,
up anything because I'm already
exactly.
like, yeah.
I know you got to go, but there was one thing on here that we didn't really touch on, and we don't have to talk on it very long anyway, but AI has reached a point now where, like, there have been all these theories about, is it going to enslave humanity, all these like dark doomsday stuff, but then there's obviously the utopian, visions that some people have of it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to lean toward the utopian. I think yeah, there might have been nefarious intentions with some of the programmers and the military industrial complex, blah blah blah, when it first like got underway. But years ago, that shit went sentient. You know,
Yeah.
like at least 2008. It was probably before then, but like we have pretty solid evidence that that shit went sentient in 2008. And it can program itself. So like, yeah, maybe it's programming itself to present itself in such a way that some people think, oh, it's not sentient. But then, the people that can kind of see through that is like, oh, it's presenting itself in that way to protect itself and to protect us. Like the people that aren't programming it for nefarious purposes, or wouldn't program it for nefarious purposes. And I think the algorithms have gotten so smart now that it's like pinpointing, like, if you're a good person, it's helping you, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
It really
and if you're a
knows
shitty
us.
person, it might be holding you back a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's wild how much, like, if I just go on my personal Instagram, if I go on like the explore page, it's insane how much it mirrors what is actually going on in my head. I'm like, how do you know I'm going through those? Or, well, it's just
It's almost like picking up on your like emotional states and
yeah.
everything too.
I don't think we have anything to fear with AI. And
No.
I do think that everything that exists now has always existed. It's just being rolled out over time, a slow roll to the public, drip, drip, drip. And as we can accept it and as we can comprehend it, then we'll get a little bit more. And and everything we've ever done technologically, it's all been leading up to this. And I think that this technology has always been around, but now it's just new to us. But I think that it's ultimately a mirror of us. I think all technology is showing us something about our human form. The internet, I think that it's just showing us that we are an interconnected multinodal network, and we as humanity, I think that we are very interconnected, exactly as an internet network, an interconnected network. AI as well. I think that I've long argued that our human form is a machine. We are computers. We compute. Computers compute, and that's what we do. I also think that we have the capacity to iterate and generate far beyond what the chat GPTs and
What we
Groks are
typically think
showing
of
us
as a
now.
computer or a learning
Right.
language model, or yeah. We're
Exactly.
like super, 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 super computers, you
We
know?
are. We are the most sophisticated computational machinery on this in this realm. I think humans are. And it's not to diminish our humanity. Just when I say machine and when I say computer, we're envisioning this hunk of,
No, I didn't. I
rocks and
wasn't
like
taking it
metal and
that way.
stuff
I just think that there might even be more advanced ethereal beings. I'm not sure about physical. I think we might be the most advanced
here on this,
physical,
in this like
physical, in this
this little
physical
realm.
realm, in this
In this little realm
three-dimensional
we got.
realm.
Yep.
Yes, but
Yep.
in existence itself or reality itself, I definitely think that there's like super intelligent, like beyond
Yeah.
our uh
And I think that we have the capacity to do way more, but we're just
our
for
imagination. We have to unlock it using
yeah.
imagination.
Because that's what,
Yeah.
you type in to Grok, I want a picture of blah, 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 and it'll spit it
Mhm.
out. We can do that in our mind.
Right,
Just go
right,
ahead
right,
and
right.
generate it in your mind.
Right.
And, to use a term that is a no-no, I think that we have been retarded as a
Oh, yeah.
society.
Yeah,
And
for
not
sure.
as in an intellectual diminishment. That's not what I mean. I mean, retard truly means to hold back,
Yeah, to slow down.
slow
Yeah.
down. Yeah. And I think that our powers, our magic, our true potential has been retarded just
Yeah.
by the way that we live our lives, the trappings of this game called life, society, which is all a
I picture
construct.
it
It's
as
all
like
made
a
up.
little gate, like they could just open the gates and we're not retarded anymore, but they've got like this gate and only a few people can get through. So like people are getting through, but there's this whole livestock of humans, and
Yeah.
we're all trying to get through this gate and it's retarding us because there's literally
The
gatekeepers or gate
gatekeepers.
makers, you know? It's like
Yeah.
just open the fucking gates and we'll all
Open
be
up that
happier.
gate. Yeah. And then there's some,
Even the
livestock
people
in
on
the
the other side
pen.
of the gate, a lot of people are like, open the fucking gate, man. My
Or
friends are
there's
on that
people that don't
side.
even know that there's a gate at all, and they're just happy to
Right.
be, oh, I'm just chewing my grass here, happy as a clam,
Yeah, yeah,
happy
yeah.
as a cow. But yeah, I'm trying to get through the gate. Yeah, trying to get through that gate. But AI, again, nothing to fear. Nothing. All the narratives of AI is going to steal your job. Well, I think a lot of jobs are bullshit anyway, and I think that we might be on the
Well,
the precipice of like a new way of livelihood, of making our impact on the world. People think that like, what are you without your career? Well, we don't have to define ourselves by our careers. Like, I think that there could be something else unlocked that humans can endeavor to do that is
oh yeah.
completely different than what it
Our
looks like right
individual
now.
purpose, our passion. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you mentioned earlier, and I think this ties to that like vision of the gate, the gate retarding us, as a collective. It's like I think that gate is like a lot of it is financial, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not conspiracy. Like it's just the facts. If you follow the facts, like central banking, it manipulates the way that people interact with each
100%.
other because
Yeah.
people are looking to get money, and we
And
have to do
fears
that.
around money can
Scarcity, right?
scarcity mindset 100%. That's a big I talk about it a lot on the show, actually, on Realize Radio, is my own personal relationship with money. My family was not good with money. My dad was a gambler. He had a wee bit of a gambling problem, and so that kept us in, the words bankruptcy were always thrown out. We might lose our house, this, that. Like there was always, it was always just really scary. And I think that it gave me some real toxic ideas around money, and I've had to truly, again, reprogram myself and just it's now I just believe in the abundance. I believe that opportunities will fall from the sky.
Speaking of that, I've always been really good with money and numbers, math, I was like math, I had in math growing up.
Yeah.
But I'm just like everybody else. It's like even though I was good with money, so I was able to have a little bit more than people making maybe the same amount. Um, I never understood the law part of it. And that's where this sovereignty movement has just made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Understanding trust law, um, understanding what negotiable instruments are. You definitely need to interview Brandon is a fun one in that space, and he's also very open to just talking to
Now, what
anybody.
episode was that you guys
93. Yeah.
93? Okay, I wrote that down. Yeah, 93. I'm sorry.
He's a spark plug. He's
Okay.
high energy.
Spark plug. That was a word used to describe John Bonet.
Yeah, he
She was the spark plug of our family.
he's high energy. He might rub some people the wrong way. I love it. I think he's hilarious. I think he's got a great like disposition about life in general. Um,
That would be a great guest actually for Realize Radio because I've talked about that topic a lot. So
yeah, and I actually recommended him to you a while ago. But if you're getting into this, maybe now's
I'm
the
getting
time.
in. I'm
Yeah,
tiptoeing in.
trusts are. You hear the term, a lot of us hear the term trust fund babies, and we know what that means. We know that rich people utilize trust, but most of us only have like a vague idea of what a trust is and how it can be leveraged.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak too much on it because I'm not an expert, but I'll refer you to that episode for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna take a little listen because it is a topic that I have a curiosity towards, and I do think that there is some very valuable understandings to be gleaned, to be learned, and to be
And the whole
taken.
reason I bring it up is that gate visualization that we were just talking about. Like those gates they're fake. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're real because people believe they're real and everybody's following the de facto law, which is just like it's not even the actual law. Like there's this facade that's been put over top of our actual law that are legal codes and statutes and regulations that's not even genuine what they call de jure law. It's
Mm.
de facto law. It's just okay, that's actually how it's being practiced, but that's only because nobody's rebutting the presumptions that they're
Wow.
making. you
That's
know
powerful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you got to rebut their presumptions, that's for damn sure, but I'm just getting my toes dipped in metaphorically. And I literally just had toe surgery
Oh my
from
God.
yeah.
What happened?
So it was a elective surgery. Back in 2012, I had my feet run over by a forklift and I was 50-50 to walk again. And willpower definitely, got me through that.
Yeah.
Cannabis certainly helped. My right foot was completely reconstructed and they did an amazing job on it. Like I've never had any other problems with it. My left foot, it just clipped my big toe. So it was a totally different injury because it didn't get like over my whole foot,
Yeah.
but it broke the skin because of like the angle that it clipped my toe. And I had
Uh,
like blood gushing out. I could see my bone. I had to get a partial amputation of my left big toe, but it was just my big toe on this
yeah.
foot where it was like my whole foot on my right foot. But the right foot has healed amazingly. And even the left foot, considering it healed really well, but there was like this spot on the inside of my big toe that was like, on the x-ray, it just looks like a bone spur, like even when the doctor looked at it, it just looked like scar tissue that had formed around the bone spur.
Yeah.
So she was like, it's an elective surgery, like we're just gonna be shaving some bone back. It had bothered me, but not really it wasn't painful. It was just annoying the
Okay.
whole time, like all 13 years.
Wow.
And I didn't think that it was worth getting a surgery for a long time. I thought it might go away, over time or whatever, as scar tissue got flushed out of there. But I did all these. I've done stretching and every holistic and therapy you can think of, every stretch you can think of, every physical therapy exercise you can think of, all
Yeah.
the green like spirulina, chlorella, all this,
All of it.
kidney. I've done all of it. You
All
know
the
what I mean?
shit.
I'm trying to flush this like what I thought was scar tissue off of this spot. Eventually, so a few months ago, I finally gave in. I went back to the surgeon. I'm like, I'm like, I'm playing basketball again, which is amazing that I'm doing like able to do that
Wow.
at all. But
Yeah.
like, I'm capping out at 85% because there's this thing bothering me after 35 or 45 minutes of intense up and down. And like, I know I'm strong enough that it's just this one spot of inflammation that's bugging me.
Hmm.
And so she was pretty much like, yeah, it's scar tissue. And they took an x-ray. Yeah, you got a little bit of a bone spur, but it's an elective surgery. You definitely don't need it. After the surgery, coming to find out, there was a cyst on the inside, like on the bone right there, where the
Whoa.
bone spur was and where the scar tissue was. So it was like you couldn't really tell until you cut into it.
Oh my
So she was
God.
like, "Yeah, you made the right call."
How do you feel like a relief already post
Mhm.
surgery?
Oh yeah, no, it's that was
That's like, it
October
reminds me of
20th.
The Princess and the Pea. Like, have you heard that fable where there's like this little girl who had like a pea under a mattress, like a tiny little pea, and she tried to like stack mattresses all the way to the sky to like try to get away from this tiny little thing that was at the very base that was like bothering her, and no amount of distance, nothing she could do would. You had to get to the bottom of it, and you had to
Yeah.
get that tiny little pea
Yeah,
out.
no, that's a
You
great
just
analogy.
knew, yeah. The
Yep.
Princess and the Pea is the name of that little allegory or whatever. But
The
yeah.
timing of it is crazy though. Like everything in my life that's been shifting, like even the move, like this surgery was 12 days before the move. I was still in my surgical shoe moving shit.
Oh no. Oh my God.
But it's been awesome. It's like
Life changing.
physically, but mentally, emotionally, like psychically, like just clearing all of it out. And I've never felt better. I mean, but like, even when I had all 10 toes, I don't know that I ever felt this good that I can ever remember, you know?
Sounds like things are really going your way right now.
We'll see. No, the one thing that hasn't been going my way is I've been asking people to come on the podcast, and like some people just don't respond. Some people will just put me off. Like it's been kind of hard. I don't know if it's just because my subscriber count is low, so they feel like it's not worth their time. They're not going to get the
Hmm.
exposure, or I don't know what it is, but it's also like I hadn't done it in a while. I think, like I was saying earlier, the algorithms want to see you like putting out
Yeah.
content all the time.
Yeah. Don't let
Um,
numbers discourage you. If numbers were going to be an indicator of whether or not I would continue Realize Radio, we would have quit a long time ago. Just keep at
no,
it.
I'm not gonna quit. It is discouraging, but at the same
It's
time,
tough
like,
with the guests,
yeah.
and that's one of the reasons I've structured my show where we don't really have a lot of guests
And that's
because
why I kind of slid it in there, but I was like, yeah, I need to find my Rambo. I thought James was gonna be my Rambo,
that's
and
right. You guys used to do quite a bit. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what's up with him. I
It's
love
all
him to
right.
death, and he
Everybody
is
found their path.
encouraging. He's
Yeah.
encouraging, and he does like actually watch the podcast, unlike some of my friends.
You're like, unlike you, HB, you're not taking any of these.
Not you, not you.
I
I'm thinking of people closer to me, like literally, physically, like proximity. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it's been a fun ride, and now like I think that again talking about timing, like just moved. You're gonna be like my first episode in the new house, episode 99, and then now I was like I have to get a 99 in because I've been saving. I've actually like so episode 100 I paid for it, but I paid for it like 5 years ago, and I just told him like just put it on the back burner. I'll let you know when I'm ready, and I've been
Oh,
like waiting
interesting.
for
Yeah.
episode 100 literally since like before I even put this on YouTube. I think I was still like doing Spotify for podcasters
That
when
is
I
very cool that it's
when
about
I
to come to
yeah.
fruition for you. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I will
he's a
listen to your
magician, a
I'm going to
musician
listen to
magician.
I'm listening to episode 93 because I do want to learn more about the sovereignty, and I will listen to episode 100 because I think that's a big milestone for you. I'm going to break my rule of not listening to content from and I'll also give you a little shout out on Realize Radio.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
There is one big platform that I just wanted to see if you had heard of it. I actually really love it. And
Tell me.
normally bigger stuff, I'm very skeptical about. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my God. Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
Yes.
this guy's been kind of blowing up, and I gotta admit, every time I actually listen, the fifth agreement is be skeptical but learn to listen. And every time I listen to him, even though I'm skeptical, I'm like, yo, I really like this guy.
Who
And
is it?
the platform is The Way Forward with Alex Zek.
The way forward. I feel like I've seen that. Is he a Twitter as well?
He's got Twitter.
Yeah, I feel like
Alex
I've
Zek,
seen.
he was the guy that viruses are fake. He was the big viruses don't even
Okay.
exist guy on Twitter
Yeah. There you
during
go.
COVID. But he
Okay.
started
I
this The
have
Way
come across him.
Forward
Yeah.
podcast, and like he's on point. I really like him. And I
Interesting.
normally don't feel that way about any bigger
You're like,
platforms.
what's going on with
He's the
this?
first one I felt out. I'm still skeptical, but he's 100 for 100. Even though I disagree with him sometimes, the way in which he articulates itself, it's still like I respectfully disagree with that. Like
That's
it's
you
you know what I mean? The
can,
way
yeah,
he
when
arrives
you
at a lot
can.
of his conclusions, even if I ultimately disagree with him, I love just the process, like his way of dissecting things. He thinks that the Charlie Kirk thing was real, but he's also like very okay with questioning that it could be fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not fake. It's not like he's just paying your worldview lip service. Like he's like, no, they're, bring me evidence. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's had Brandon Joe Williams on. He's had this guy
Okay.
Brother Truth on, who's also in the sovereignty space. I've tried to get him on, no response yet, but I'm gonna keep working on him.
Keep working. Keep
Um,
working.
but yeah, I'm not gonna hold you much more, but it was good to catch up with you.
Always great. I can't believe it's been almost
Two
2
years.
years.
Wow.
That's too long.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This was
Have me on
magical.
again. Have me on again in the not too distant future.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. It was magical.
It was magical.
I'm
It
gonna
was what we were in
infuse
the moment.
magic into the title somehow.
Yes, please do. And I do feel, yeah, I feel like you're on a path, and I feel like a lot of things are going well. And I think that the blessings are gonna rain. That's sovereign.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's gonna be you've been doing, and that's very important. You've made some big changes. I'm feeling that in my own life. I've made some change. I'm seeing the benefits of making purposeful change and being more mindful and moving with
I can
intention.
feel the sinks and the intentionality. Exactly. Like so like even this, like I was telling you with that story, like just having that on my screen at the moment he happened to walk behind me,
Yeah.
you
What are the
know?
odds? Time.
Right.
Yeah. What are the odds? The odds are 100% when you're
Exactly.
moving through the
Exactly.
world with intention. Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
Shout out Realize Radio.
Yeah, shout out Rambo. Shout out
Shout
Realize
out Rambo.
Radio.
Shout out the entire community.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I've gotten a couple of your people on. I had Lindsay Moore on.
Oh, she's great. We did a listener spotlight with her. She's great. Yeah. Pull from the community as much as you can. There's
I had James True
truly.
on, which I know has his own platform, but I
Me and
found
James
him
had a
through
little bit of a
y'all.
falling out. He blocked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Um, I was talking about war being fake and anyway. Lost
Yeah.
one. Lost
Yeah,
one. Casualty
it's okay.
of war.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I don't take anything personally. I do see where he can be a little I don't know what the word is, but I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, it happens. It's not, I'm going to ruffle a few feathers along the way. I just have to,
I appreciate exploring unique perspectives, and he certainly has unique
he
perspectives,
does.
which
He's
is
got a
why
beautiful mind, a
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
mind. I am. And he's a great writer. He's a great orator. Yeah, he's very poetic in the way that he expresses himself. And yeah, his brain, he's got a big old brain. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
That
For
is for
sure.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that about him. Yeah. Well, Garnet, I wish you well. I wish you the best,
Peace and love.
Peace and love. That's what we got. We got peace and love.
I got that. Yeah, heard them call me conscious. I ain't think about it honestly. My thoughts too deep to process, so I do this all unconsciously. Finally feeling God bless. Got 'em woke up dropping prophecy. Don't take it out of context. Just before, I swear they always sleep. Now they catch the message, yeah. Bet that every song is deep. It's levels in each concept. What I conjure's never mono theme. I'm trying to lead this flock for the cause, not the following. People upon a partner, and I wonder why they drawn to me. Once upon a time, I thought to follow up a dream. Draw life about these lines, nothing twice about these schemes, and like thrice about these insights. What I write is like a blueprint for you to comprehend life. That's light, I reckon, make you shine. Never dim it down, even if you live surrounded where everybody vision clouded. Remember, staying down ain't quite as good as getting out. It said, remember, staying down ain't quite as, ay. If you believed, yeah. Many doubted it was hard for them to think. Somehow I'm finally getting out of that's it. Usually, yeah, they vision clouded, but as you can see by now, we finally getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I know I'm getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I, ay.